Caitlin Clark sounded as excited to start working with Stephanie White as the new Indiana Fever coach seemed to be over the moon about the idea of working with the WNBA superstar. Clark heaped a mountain of praise on White on Monday as she was officially introduced as the franchise's new head coach in a press conference at Gainbridge Fieldhouse. "We know how much of a legend she is in Indiana," Clark told reporters, according to ESPN. "I think that's really cool. Playing against her, I would say I felt like her teams always had the best scouts against us. I think that just speaks to her knowledge of the game and her way to analyze, and she clearly was onto something. Hopefully, in turn, now that she knows how to stop us, that should be a good way to know how to help us beat certain things as well." White is an Indiana native, having played high school basketball in the state and playing college ball at Purdue before she was selected 21st overall in the 1999 WNBA draft by the now-defunct Charlotte Sting. The new Fever head coach played for the organization for 4 years during her playing career and served as an assistant coach under Lynn Dunn when they won the 2012 WNBA title. White had previously been the franchise's head coach for 2 seasons in 2015 and 2016 and had coached the Connecticut Sun for the previous 2 seasons. White now will coach one of women's basketball's biggest names in what White had described as an important time throughout women's athletics. "This is the moment we've been waiting for, so I don't know if you prepare for it as much as you embrace it. Embrace where we are," White said about coaching in such a pivotal time for the WNBA during an interview on NBA Today. "Think about the momentum moving forward, where we wanted this league to be and where we still aspire for it to go. Just embrace this moment, embrace this opportunity. Continue to help this team, this franchise be better and position ourselves for success." Even after rocking the WNBA world with the Indiana Fever and making friends there, Caitlin Clark just can't shake that Iowa feeling. And, no, it's not just about her love life. Because her boyfriend, Connor McCaffery, who is busy with the Butler Bulldogs, wasn't even around to greet her. But the 2024 Roddy has been literally jumping out of her sneakers to get back and spend time with her buddies. The 3 ex-Big Ten champs Clark, Gabby Marshall, and Kate Martin sat down with Jada Giamfi for some chit-chat. Talking about what she has been up to, the Fever number 22 shared, "It's been nice to have a little break and was a fun season, but I've been crossing off the days to get back to Iowa City. That shows her love for the city and her Hawkeyes crew. I've literally been counting the days. Last Thursday, I was like, okay, 1 more week, and then next Thursday, I'm there. Once Monday passed, I was fired up," she admitted. However, her boyfriend, Connor, isn't in the city. In fact, he is in Indianapolis, kicking off a whole new chapter himself as an assistant coach for Butler University. And this move adds a bit of conflict. With him now part of Butler in the Atlantic 10, and Iowa in the Big Ten, they could very well be rivals at some point in the tourney. Fever's number 22 seems to have no problem juggling her loyalty, though. She's ready to support both colleges, but you can tell her heart is still firmly with Iowa. How do we know that? She didn't waste a second heading straight to Iowa and turning her reunion mode on with her besties. And who are we kidding? That's her alma mater, basically her second home. From making TikTok videos to chit-chatting on Giamfi's podcast Fresh Talk, she is enjoying every minute of catching up with her besties. Since leaving college, she, Martin, and Marshall have all taken different paths. Clark's lighting up the WNBA, Kate's been making waves with the Las Vegas Aces, and Gabby's pursuing her education. Yet, even with all their unique journeys, these 3 are tighter than ever. The Fever star has got nothing but love for her old teammates and vice versa. They are often seen expressing their love through social media. And now they are finally reunited. But that isn't keeping the reigning Roddy from supporting her boyfriend. The basketball star traveled to Indianapolis just to see Connor's team in action during Butler's exhibition game, where they absolutely crushed it with a 65-72 win. With that first dub under his belt, his coaching journey got off to an incredible start, and the reigning National Player of the Year was right there on the sidelines. Also, as soon as Butler's NCAA season opener against Missouri State rolled around, she was spotted in the stands at Hinkle Fieldhouse, proudly cheering on alongside Connor's brother, Jack McCaffery. A co-host from the Bulldog Bark podcast confirmed Clark's presence at the game. Even when Connor got the job in September, the rookie star was among his biggest cheerleaders. "I'm super excited for him," she shared. Since his playing days at Iowa and his stint with the Indiana Pacers, Caitlin has been there for him every step of the journey. So, whether it's hundreds of miles or a jam-packed schedule, the Hooper will go the extra mile, and no distance can keep her from supporting her favorite people. The Indiana Fever had a season to remember, finishing with a 20-20 record and making to the playoffs, breaking a 7-year drought. No doubt, their incredible trio of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, and Aliyah Boston was at the forefront. Despite this impressive turnaround, head coach Stephanie White knows something crucial is missing in the roster for the Fever to achieve greatness truly. When asked what priorities she has to get back to that exact stage that the team was at in 2012, she emphasized that there's never a substitute for experience. She pointed out that while the young roster gained valuable insights this season, the lack of playoff experience is a glaring gap, something the team could focus on bringing in this offseason. Having playoff experience is so important. You just never know what you don't know, she added, highlighting how important it is for players to learn from the postseason grind. Together with President Kelly Krauskopf, both look forward to building a stronger roster. And guess what? They've already started planning. Amber, Kelly, and I are just talking about players and evaluations before we came out here, and building quality depth is going to be important, the new HC shared at the introductory press conference. It's their first big challenge since stepping into their roles. The core trio, Clark, Mitchell, and Boston, has shown promise. CC has been lighting it up with an average of 19.2 points, 8.4 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, quickly establishing herself and even standing fourth in the MVP voting. At the same time, Kelsey Mitchell contributed 19.2 points and 2.5 rebounds. 2023 Rookie of the Year Aliyah Boston averaged 14 points and 8.9 rebounds while also anchoring the defense. But with Boston entering last year, Clark this season, and Mitchell unsure of the future with Indiana, they still have some growing pains. So, how can the Fever add some much-needed experience to their lineup? Well, these two key additions could be game changers for Indiana. Natasha Howard and Sato Sabally could provide the playoff experience and skill the team needs. First up, Natasha Howard has been a powerhouse in the league for a decade, winning 3 WNBA championships. In 2024, she averaged 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, 2.9 assists, and 1.3 steals over 27 games with the Dallas Wings. Along with scoring, she brings a defensive intensity that the Fever could greatly benefit from. Having led the Seattle Storm to a championship with timely steals and blocks, she knows the clutch plays very well. Then we have Sato Sabally, another gem from the Dallas Wings. She averaged 17.9 points, 6.4 rebounds, and 5.0 assists in the 2024 season. Her versatility as a forward is what makes her a dual threat. Back in 2023, she hit a career-high 40 points in a game that clinched a playoff berth for the Wings. Bringing her on board would add another offense powerhouse, especially with CC dishing out assists. Although fans say that her chances are less than those of Howard, we never know. Experience may be the missing puzzle piece, but they'll be unstoppable on the court once they find it. Appearing on Saturday Night Live is a dream come true for any American. The day Caitlin Clark did it, she checked off a huge item on her bucket list. A surprise appearance that saw her poking fun at anchor Michael Che, who had just moments before been joking about Iowa retiring CC's jersey and aprons. The Fever number 22 was the first women's basketball player to appear on the show, let alone one who wasn't even drafted yet. But as fun as it was for audiences, Clark had a wild journey that day. Reuniting with her former Hawkeyes teammates Gabby Marshall, Kate Martin, and Jada Giamfi on the Fresh Talk with Jada Giamfi, the reigning Rookie of the Year spoke about the hectic month that was April. The trip to New York for the draft, I have zero recollection. I slept 2 hours, I've never felt that way in my life, Clark explained. The former Hawkeyes guard had been on the other side of the country to receive the Wooden Award for the second year in a row. In fact, during that period, the Des Moines-born had no time to rest. She had continuously played for the Hawkeyes since September 2023. She was then drafted, and right after the one-week training camp, Clark began her rookie season for Indiana. I felt awful because I was in LA. I flew from LA in the morning and I flew all the way to New York, landed, went right to SNL, was there. I was like the last skit on SNL. SNL was fun, she continued. She traded barbs with Che about his comedy skills in women's sports, ending with making the anchor read blind jokes she wrote. The third one stole the limelight as Che read. This year, Caitlin Clark broke the record for 3-pointers in a single season, and I have 3-pointers for Michael Che. 1. B. 2. Funnier. 3. Doomba. For as long as she can remember, Caitlin Clark has been a fan of Maya Moore. Watching the former Minnesota Lynx player live at games was part of what inspired her to play basketball herself. In fact, her very first outing to a WNBA game was for the 4x WNBA champ. And even if Cheryl Swoops hasn't always been forthcoming in praise for the Roddy and has more criticism to offer, that day in April, Clark thanked these two women, among other pioneers of the game. I'm sure it will be a big first step for me, but it's just one step for the WNBA thanks to all the great players like Cheryl Swoops, Lisa Leslie, Cynthia Cooper, the great Dawn Staley, and my basketball hero, Maya Moore, the Fever rookie said. These are the women that kicked down the door so I could walk inside. So, I wanted to thank them tonight for laying the foundation.